and we may ultimately have to just deal with Mr. Zamora at the end, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, give me 1 second.
Yo, sit up straight. How about you jumpsuit? Towards the section.
Okay, so I made the phone call. They're going to reach out to the interpreter. And with it just being one person, I think we can just get started. And then we'll just deal with that person when the interpreter becomes available.
Yes, sir.
All right, so it looks like on the lady side, I need you to just turn the camera over. All right, good morning, everyone. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I'm not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case. I am here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail on, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail. And these bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office will hold that cash and return it at the end of your case. If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to the company for their service. The fee will not be returned. I don't know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond. Finally, if you use property to post a bond, the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total bond amount. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. The special condition will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you could receive, if you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you could remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime has occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Finally, I need everyone to raise their right hand. Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? Okay, let's begin with the ladies.
Your Honor, the first lady, Miss Bailey, she actually, Cook, Ashley Cook, she actually bonded out, but she's still here, in the courtroom. Do you want to speak with her first?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Ms. Cook, you bonded out, and sort of the good thing of your being here now is that I get to ask you the question of whether you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. Okay, I see on your form you said that you don't need one. And so, ma'am, you can fire the lawyer that I appoint and you can hire your own and you can represent yourself. This is a really low level charge, something that you probably can get resolved, but I'm going to put it in your court. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer.
No, I don't, but can I ask you something, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm already in the process of getting my license, so that's really the real reason why I didn't want to get a lawyer, because I'm already in the process of actually getting my license.
Okay, so what I'll say to you, and don't hold me to this because I'm not the judge that's sitting before the case as it goes forward, but my understanding is that if you were able to obtain your license, that your charges most likely will be dismissed.
Okay, I will. I'm already in the process of doing that. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any questions, any other questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay, good luck to you, ma'am. You're free to go back.
Thank you.
The next one, Griff. She's actually a refusal from my medical unit.
Yes, I saw that on the CA form. Is she? She's not there. Period.
No, she's not in the courtroom, but she's in the infirmary still. When I tried to go get her, she was refusing to come to court.
Okay. What I will ask is that if at the end of this proceeding, I'm just allowed to speak to her.
Okay.
Because it's like one of those things of, if she doesn't want to come to court, it doesn't mean court didn't happen.
Okay.
And that if she doesn't want to come to her trial, doesn't mean her trial doesn't happen.
Right.
And as a judge, I just feel I need to impart that knowledge to her, that the train is going to keep moving whether she wants to participate with it or not. And if she says, no, I don't want to do it, that's fine. That's her right. And whatever happens, happens. But as a judge, it's like I feel like I need to at least say that to her.
I got you. I understand.
Okay.
Well, the next one's going to be Jackson.
Okay. Ms. Toles, I see you. I'm going to come to you in a moment after Ms. Jackson. Ms. Jackson.
Yes, sir.
You're charged with 1 count of driving under an influence, 1 count of prohibited parking, which is basically stopping in an improper place, and 1 count of open container. You're going to have a total bond set of $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of counsel?
No.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me?
I do have a question. You just, the court date was on June the 8th. I have another court date on June the 8th in North Carolina. How does that work?
Okay, so the court date of June 8th will be waived upon your bonding out, and you will get a new court date in the mail. So basically what that means is, upon your bonding out, your case will get sent to the state court of Clayton County, and then everything starts all over again.
Okay.
So you will not have to appear here if you bond out. Okay?
Right.
Do you have any other questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Let's go back over to the men's side. We have Ms. Toles, who's present to be the interpreter.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Toles. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
So on the men's side, who do we need the services for Ms. Toles?
Zamora, here you go, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have mine here.
Mr. Zamora, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Hola, señor Zamora. Buenos días. ¿Puede usted oír y entender al intérprete?
Sí.
Yes.
This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Esta es su comparecencia inicial en la sala mejor del Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
We're not here to try your case or to take a plea in your case.
No estamos aquí para enjuiciarlo, tampoco para aceptar una declaración a acusaciones.
I'm here to tell you the charges that you've been charged with,
Estoy aquí para informarle de las acusaciones que tiene en su contra,
to tell you the bond,
para informarle de su fianza
and to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer.
y también para ver si usted cumple los requisitos para un abogado de oficio.
In this case, you've been charged with a misdemeanor offense of driving a vehicle without a license.
En este caso, a usted se le ha formulado una acusación, un delito menor de manejar un vehículo sin una licencia.
Bond that's going to be set for this offense is $1,000.
La fianza para esa infracción es $1,000.
You will have the ability to post this bond either by giving the entire cash amount to the sheriff,
Usted tendrá la posibilidad de depositar la fianza. Puede entregar el total de la fianza a la comisaría del sheriff. En
the sheriff
efectivo.
will, I'm sorry, the sheriff will hold that money and then return it to you when your case is over.
Puede depositar el total en efectivo al sheriff, que guardará el dinero hasta que el caso se concluya y luego le devolverá el dinero pagado.
You could also use a bonding company.
También podría utilizar una compañía de fianzas.
You would have to pay a fee to that company and that fee will not be returned.
Tendría que pagarle una tarifa de servicio a la compañía y no se devuelve esa tarifa.
I don't know the fee amount, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond.
No sé cuánto sería la tarifa, pero normalmente se basa en un porcentaje de la fianza.
You could also use property to post your bond.
También pudiera utilizar un inmueble o propiedad para tramitar su fianza.
The property will need to have a value of at least 3 times the total amount of the bond.
Y la propiedad tendrá que contar con un valor de por lo menos 3 veces lo que es la fianza. Okay.
You are going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning.
Su audiencia preliminar se señala para la fecha 8 de junio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
Perdón, no escuché.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You will have a preliminary hearing date set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning.
Su audiencia preliminar se señala, señor, para la fecha 8 de junio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
That date,
Es una corte.
And that's a court date.
yes, but that date will be waived upon your bonding out and you will receive a new court date in the mail.
Sí, señor, pero esa audiencia quedará renunciada una vez que usted sale en libertad bajo fianza y luego le mandará a notificar de la nueva audiencia por correo. Okay.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Quisiera, señor, que yo determine si usted cumple los requisitos para un abogado de oficio.
¿Sí?
Yes.
Bueno, una pregunta.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Sí, señor.
¿El abogado para qué?
What is the attorney for?
You have a right to the representation by a lawyer if you so choose.
Si usted tiene derecho a ser representado por un abogado, si así lo desea.
You also have the right to represent yourself.
También tiene el derecho de seguir en representación propia.
Ok, está bien, el abogado.
Okay, that's fine, the attorney.
I'm going to find that you qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Yo determino, señor, que usted sí cumple los requisitos y voy a nombrarle un abogado de oficio.
Ok.
Okay.
Una pregunta más.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Sí, señor.
Si pagan los $1,000 de fianza, hoy puedo salir bajo fianza.
And if the $1,000 in bond is paid, may I get out on bond?
Yes, sir.
Sí, señor.
Porque en cuanto lo paguen, yo salgo.
So as soon as they pay it, I get out?
Yes, sir. And please be advised that the sheriff's department is required by law to add additional fees to the bond amount. So it's going to be a little bit higher than $1,000.
Sí, señor. Y tiene que estar consciente de que la comisaría del sheriff agrega tarifas administrativos a la fianza, entonces será un poco más que los $1,000.
Más o menos como cuánto sería más.
Like more or less, how much would it be?
Probably $1,200 or $1,300.
Yo creo unos $1,200, $1,300.
Ok.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, sir?
Muy bien, señor. ¿Alguna pregunta más?
En dado caso que no pudiera obtener el dinero para salir, ¿qué posibilidades hay para poder salir?
The interpreter needs to ask him to repeat that last part. Señor, no escuché todo. En dado caso que usted no pudiera juntar el dinero para salir, ¿y qué más dijo?
¿Tiene otra posibilidad para poder pagar eso?
Okay. In case we're unable to get the money together to pay the bond to get out, what other possibilities are there to do that?
If you're unable to post your bond, this is a low-level offense. You will most likely get placed on what is called a jail calendar, which is a Monday hearing to see if your case can be resolved.
Si no pudiera pagar la fianza para salir, este caso es uno de nivel muy bajo. Entonces, lo más probable es que programaría su audiencia en una de lista de causas para las personas detenidas y usted tendría una audiencia el lunes para ver si su caso se pudiera resolver.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, sir?
Bueno, señor. ¿Alguna pregunta más?
No, creo que sería todo. Solo, bueno, entonces pago hoy y ya saldré de aquí, ¿verdad?
No, that was all that I had. So if the bond was paid today, then I could get out, correct?
Yes, sir.
Sí, señor.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're free to go back, Ms. Zamora. And before I allow Ms. Toles to leave, is there anyone else on the male or female side that needs the services of the interpreter?
Señor Zamora, gracias, ya se puede retirar. Damas y caballeros, ¿hay alguien más que necesita intérprete antes de que me retire? No response, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Toles, have a great weekend. Thank you again for your services.
You too. Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Okay, let's switch back over to the ladies' side. Are you Miss, is it
McCrone.
McCrone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with one count of theft by conversion. This is a felony offense. You're going to have a bond set at $10,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 9th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
And I'm sorry, did you say yes or no?
No, sir.
Okay, you gonna hire your own lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have any questions of me, Ms. McCrone?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Oh,
Are you Ms. Palmer?
I am.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault and 1 count of battery. I am denying the bond currently on the 3 counts of aggravated assault. I've set a $5,000 bond on the battery charge. I'm going to set a preliminary hearing date for June 9th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm also going to set a a bond hearing date for June 11th. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes, sir. I need to know, you said 3 counts of aggravated assault.
Yes.
I wasn't told 3, I told 1.
So, in the information I have before you, before me, I'm sorry. It's hard to read, but the alleged victims are Zenoria Gardner, John Tanae, Gia Gardner, and Zaria Williamson.
No, sir. It was only the one Gardner, it was only one Gardner that was hit. There were no 3 people.
So that's what they've listed in the warrant. And that's the importance of getting a lawyer at this stage to be able to represent you.
Can I ask, is there any kind of other thing, because I have minor kids at home.
I'm sorry.
Is there any, I know you said you can't do a bond, but is there a house arrest or something? I have minor kids, and I'm not originally from Georgia.
And I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm going to ask you to repeat that again. I heard that you were not from Georgia, but
Yes, sir. You said that you can't give me a bond on the aggravated assault. Is there any other like house arrest or something? Because I have minor kids at home, and I don't have any family here in Georgia.
So it was the decision to deny bond was one that was made by me, and it was based upon the allegation and the warrant that you intentionally jumped the curb to try to run people over.
Oh, no, sir. I understand. I understand what you're. No, sir, it was not that. But I know you said don't discuss the details of the thing. No, sir, I was not. And I was actually in fear of my life at that point. No, sir, I did not intentionally do anything. And I waited for the police to get there because I did not intentionally do it.
And this is a situation where it would be advantageous for me as a judge if I had both sides here to be able to fully discuss what happened. I cannot ask you to disclose any information because you have the right to remain silent. And anything you say to me may kind of damage your case as you move forward.
If you would,
Don't cut him out. Let him finish talking first.
I'm sorry.
So all I'm saying, ma'am, to you is that to the extent that you want to give me information, you have to understand that that information may not help you and serve you. And you have a right to a lawyer. You have the right to counsel. You have the right to someone to hear the story from your side so that that person can then advocate for you. But what is written here in the warrant is that you intentionally jumped the curve to try to run these people over.
No, sir.
So that's what I have, and that's what I'm basing my opinion on.
Now, if you would, I know it may be damaging, but I'm willing to take that chance because I do have kids and I need to complete my thing because I gotta be a parent and a mother first. Because I would not intentionally hit anyone. I was in a drive-through window.
Don't go over.
No, he said it may be, but if I want to, because he wants to eat,
What I'm saying
so he
is
can make his
you're doing
decision.
more than what he stated.
Right.
He just hit
I just don't
on the
want to,
charges.
yeah, because I don't want to be saying I intentionally try to hit somebody and I
But
did.
we're not here to do that.
Okay.
It's not the court for that right now, okay? I
Okay.
said that before we started.
I know, I understand what he said. June, the night I got all the kids at home, who's gonna be with my kids? Why they thinking I intentionally tried to hit somebody?
So hold on, and deputy, um, to the extent that she chooses to give information, I'm going to allow her to give that information. But ma'am, you need to understand. I've had people this week that basically convicted themselves in trying to have a discussion about this.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not going to belabor the point, but if you believe that there's something, an issue that is relevant as to bond, I will hear you. But you need to understand that that may not be the thing that you are trying to achieve. It may the goal, you may not reach the goal that you're trying to achieve. So
Understood.
are we clear on that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so be succinct about it, okay?
Yes, sir. So when the incident occurred, one, it was they were inside of the building. They came outside. They unlocked the door and came outside to fight me. What she said was, "I'll beat her ass," and she came out to the car. I mean, she came outside after the manager told her not to. I was in the drive-through window. The girl that got hit was on. She was 6 feet away from me. I didn't intentionally hit her. It was another girl ran towards my car. Me jumping into the car. That's when I hit the gas trying to get away from the girl that was in my car window. It was not three of them that got hit. I didn't intentionally jump like, oh, let me just jump in my car and hit them. No, sir, absolutely not. But they came out to fight me. I was in my car.
Okay, ma'am. So an aggravated assault is not completed upon injury. It's upon intent.
Right.
And what you've just explained, in my opinion, doesn't help you as it relates to bond.
That's fine.
So you're going to have a court date set for June 9th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to set a bond hearing date for June 11th. Would you like for me to appoint counsel, or are you going to hire your own lawyer?
Yes, I would like for you to appoint counsel, but I was gonna ask, can I do a house arrest or something that I can be with my children? I can understand anything with staying away from the victims and everything, but I don't have anyone to be with my kids.
So I understand that, ma'am. And the thing I have to tell people all the time is like there are those things were in place before you got into this altercation and everything else. So when you're asking me to make allowances for your children, it invites the question of why didn't you allow allowances for your children before you got into any arguments, disputes, or any of that stuff? You had children. You didn't have to choose to get into an argument with anybody.
Yeah, and I wish that was the information that you got was exactly what happened, but it's not, and I understand your stance on that, but that is absolutely not what happened with that situation. But you got one side of the story. That's it. I did not go in there to intentionally do anything. I didn't go in there to say anything. I did not go in there to touch. I didn't go inside their job. They came outside into my car. That was the self-defense thing, if anything, but what they're telling you is one side, but there's cameras. There's cameras everywhere on that thing. I just don't want to be away from my kids a month and a half. I am a nurse and I take care of people for a living. That's never been my intent. I've never touched a person in my life. So I don't understand how one side of a story can determine my kids, their livelihood and their being at home. That's completely unfair to me as a mother.
So, ma'am, this is, as I said in the beginning, this is not a place to have a trial
Yeah,
of the case or to take a plea in the case. I read what is listed
right.
in the warrant, and honestly, I wish that there were more. I could have more information. And I hear what you're saying about an argument and things of that sort.
There was no argument. That's what I'm saying. Like this is what you're saying that they told you. I didn't get to tell my side. They didn't ask me. Nobody asked me because I was nowhere near these people. These people came out of a restaurant that was locked and closed to the outside to fight me. Three of them. Like if three women came to you, three sizes bigger than you, trying to fight you, you telling me that I'm pulling off in my car and they're the victims? They tried to fight me after the manager told them don't even go outside. I did not do anything to these people. These people did something to me. And at the time when I was ordering food for my kids, that's all my intention was to order food and go home.
Oh,
That's it.
Miss Palmer, let me stop you 1 second. I've never been in a situation where I was in a drive-through line ordering food and people came out to attack me.
Me
You
either.
enlighten, ma'am, can you enlighten me as to how that occurred?
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Okay, so I pulled up at the drive-through at 1021, and one of the ladies said, "Pull around." The thing was out. She said, "We're closed." I said, "Okay." I said, "I was fasting all day, so I said, well, is the manager?" And she said, "No." I said, "Can I have their name?" She said, "It's on the window." I said, "Okay, just need the first name." I said, "Is the shift leader available?" She said, "Yes." He came out to the window, and I said, "I was just trying to see is everything okay? You know, y'all short staff." He said, "No, we're not closed." That's just what the girl said. So he started to take my order. He took my order. I was like, okay. So she was like, I wasn't even rude to that bitch. I go and I was like, excuse me. She was like, yeah, I'll come out there and beat your ass. I was like, what? It's like, oh, like, are you serious? So the manager told her to be quiet. She left away from behind the counter, unlocked the door. Her sister, and another lady came outside with the intentions. If she told me she'll come outside and beat my ass, I had no other choice but to think that she would come outside and beat my ass because she came outside. Then they were like, okay. So I said, well, ma'am, when I realized, listen, y'all, I said, listen, I got kids y'all age. Don't worry about it. Just go back to work. I was fine with that. The girl who initiated the incident, she didn't say anything. The other girl ran to my car at the drive-through, and the lady behind me was like, "Ma'am," I jumped in my car, and that's when I pulled off. I didn't intentionally hit three people. I didn't intentionally hit anybody. I was pulling off, and the sister was coming towards my car. She jumped basically in front of the car. I didn't go through a drive-through trying to fight these people. I came to order food, and that's it. If they were closed, I understand. I go by my business. I ain't never got to fight with nobody about no drive-through food. But the
Miss
manager told her
Miss
not to go
Miss
outside.
Palmer, Miss Palmer,
Yes.
can you understand your role in this?
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely know that if she said, well, first of all, when she told me she was gonna come outside,
Miss
I should have
Palmer,
just pulled
Miss
off.
Palmer, I'm gonna slow you down. Okay. You don't have a criminal history.
No,
So I'm gonna set $5,000 bonds on each. So you're gonna have a total bond of $20,000.
yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Ma'am, can I just encourage you
Please.
in the future? You're in jail because of an argument at a drive-through
Yes,
line.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Can you
sir.
understand that? Can you like just if one of your friends came to you and said, I went to jail because I got in an argument in a drive-through line.
Yeah, and I swear to God, and this is
Ma'am,
God believe. No,
I'm,
no,
I'm
I'm not saying. No, I'm agreeing with you. I would have never thought in a million years that me being the person that I am and the courage and the motivated that I am with other young adults, I would never have thought that this would have happened to me. But at
Ma'am,
the same time, I can agree.
ma'am, can I just say one thing?
Yes, yes, sir.
The fact that you engaged in that conversation,
I'm wrong.
that's where you went wrong.
Yes, sir.
I don't know you. I don't know anything else. But the fact that you engage in a conversation, do you know how many times a day that I can engage in a conversation over foolishness?
Yes, sir.
Don't do
agree.
that. Don't do that. All right, ma'am. You're free to go back.
Thank you.
Next person.
Are you Miss Perry?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you've been charged with one count of criminal trespass. I set a bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir, but I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So if someone was, I mean, I'm not gonna argue just like the other person did, but my question is,
Should have told you, this ain't the time to be going. Okay, so go ahead and talk to the judge.
if I have been stepped to by a man that's bigger than me, am I supposed to sit there and let him touch on me or no?
That is a discussion that you need to have with your lawyer, which I'm happily to appoint. Do you want me to appoint a lawyer to represent you?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. So defenses to crimes are things that a finder of fact, which means a jury or a judge, ultimately has to make that determination. So you can resort to what's called self-help, meaning if you believe that you are truly in the right, you can defend yourself. But if you're not, you may face criminal charges.
So what were my charges again?
Criminal trespass,
Okay,
one count, $3,000 bond.
okay.
All right, you're free to go back, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Tell me your name, ma'am.
Deja Yeverton.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with criminal trespass. And I've set a bond at $1,000. And I've set a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Deidre Yeverton, and Aubriella Yeverton. But it appears that Aubriella Yellington is a juvenile. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Can I say something?
Hold on. I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak. I promise. And is Deidre Yelverton the mother of Aubriella?
Yes.
Is Deidre your daughter?
Deidre's my sister, my little 21 sister.
Your sister. Okay. So I've set the bond amount at the amount that I've set it because it appears that this is something that is maybe have been blown out of proportion to the extent of an arrest. So I don't know who called the police, but I need you to understand, and I'm saying this to you, man, before you say whatever you want to say to me, that it appears that there are situations where the police are being called out and there's an arrest that's made, possibly because the officer that was called out to the scene believed that this was not something that needed that officer to be called out.
Yeah.
So I say that just because I see this enough, and and I have a brain
I'm just hurt.
Calling the police for every disagreement or dispute or whatever is probably not a good idea. And it's probably going to lead to someone being arrested for charges as you are now facing. And I don't presume that you call the police or whatever, but it's just something that, the system is just appears to me is getting clogged with just adults not knowing how to resolve disputes. And so I don't know what happened. I don't know, and I'm not here to pass judgment on that now, but I'm just saying, as you move forward in life, disputes or whatever, maybe they don't get to the temperature level where somebody's calling the police, because somebody's going to go to jail. And in this case, it's you that are going to jail. So what is it that you wanted to tell me, Miss Yelverton?
After I turned myself in yesterday, I called one of my family members and they said that she had gotten all her stuff and my niece things and moved out.
Okay, so you'll be able to go back to your house.
Yes, my house. Yes, sir.
So ma'am, you're 22?
I'm 31. Deidre is 22.
Okay. So you will be able to go back to your place if she's moved out. You cannot go back to the place if she's there. I'm just going to say this, ma'am, just moving forward. Nothing was any dispute that you had with her, was it worth your spending a night in jail?
So I know you said don't talk about it.
Do not, please don't talk about the facts. I was just asking, was whatever the dispute was it worth your spending a night in jail?
I will just say this, I was at work and I was unable to come and let her in the house.
You were at work and you were unable to do what?
I was at work and I was unable to leave work to let her in the house.
Oh, okay. And I will leave it at that. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
You're going to hire your own lawyer?
No, Your Honor.
You're going to represent yourself?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other questions for me, ma'am?
I would like to, I think I signed a piece of paper saying that I wanted to get a lawyer.
And that was the question that I just asked, and you said no.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. I apologize. I would like to get a lawyer.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions of me?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Okay.
Next.
No, she did. She did. I'm going to
Your Honor, at this time, I don't have any more females present. If you want to start with the guys, I think we went to go get another female, another deputy, but we don't have none present right now that needs to see you at the moment.
Okay, so let me inquire about that. I do see that there's someone up in medical. Is that the person that they were trying to go get?
Your Honor, she's walking in right now.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So on the regular lady side, thank you for your assistance. You're free to go. We're going to go down to the medical side. And who do we have on the medical side?
The
The
deputy
lady.
has Griff. Her name is Griff.
I'm sorry, say that again. Griff.
Griff. Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the person that was saying that she did not want to appear. Miss Griff, you can come back before the camera. Are you Miss Griff?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, ma'am, it's okay that you don't want to come to court. It's my duty to tell you the charges that you've been charged with, and also to see if you want a lawyer to help you with your representation.
I don't want no lawyer to help me.
You said you do not need a lawyer?
Mm-mm.
Okay. You have a simple assault charge. The bond is going to be set at $4,000. Do you believe you can pay that bond?
Yeah.
Okay. And you are going to represent yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me?
Nope.
Okay. If you are unable to bond out, your preliminary hearing date will be June 8th. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. All right. So I think we're ready to go over to the mail side.
All right, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Deantis Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of cruelty to children in 3rd degree. I am unable to set bond on the aggravated assault charge because there's a conviction out of Gwinnett County, 18B02553, that placed you on 10 years probation, and that was on August 2nd of 2018. So I'm unable to set bond, but I can set you a preliminary hearing date for June 9th. I can set you a bond hearing date for June 11th. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Next person, we'll have Brown. Pronounce your name, Brown. Marcus Brown. Last up.
Are you Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir.
All right, you've been charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle without a license. The bond is set by schedule, which means it's automatically set at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir? I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Your Honor, Mr. Davenport, he bonded out in OTB, Devin Davenport.
Okay.
The next we're gonna have garbage glass.
Okay, Mr. Glass, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property, 1 count of terroristic threats, and 1 count of simple battery. The terroristic threats charge is a felony. So you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 9th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. You're going to have a total bond set at $10,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're also going to have a stay away provision to stay away from a cold edge. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify. Sir, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes, sir.
What's your question?
I just wanna know when were the warrants took out, cause I ain't even know no warrants.
Okay. The warrants were obtained on December 27th of 2018.
So,
And the allegation is that the incident took place on December 27th of 2018. So I'll say to you, sir, that I've heard a number of stories as it relates to I never knew that this person took out warrants and I'm still living with this person and that kind of thing. So that does not impact sort of the legal case, but it may be something that helps you inform your decisions as to if you're still living with someone that took warrants out 2 years ago and never told you. Does that make sense?
yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Glass?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back.
Name Samuel Jones.
Mr. Jones, you're charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license, 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol, 1 count of failure to yield when making a turn, and 1 count of an open container violation. You're going to have a total bond that's going to be set at $7,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, I can.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Not at this time.
You're going to hire your own lawyer?
I don't know yet. I'll say not this time.
Okay, so I'm just going to mark currently that you're representing yourself, which is pro se, and you can make those determinations later, okay? Any other questions?
Yeah. No, sir.
Oh, okay, you're free to go back.
Come on. Sir Mason.
Mr. Mason, you're charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle without a license. The bond is automatically set at $1,000. Can you post that bond? I'm sorry, sir. Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir. I got my own attorney.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back.
How you doing there, sir?
Hi, are you Mr. McDaniels? Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by taking, 1 count of simple battery. I've set the bond, total bond at $14,000. Can you post that bond?
Yes, sir. I can, sir.
Okay, there's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Jasmine Cameron. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I understand, sir.
I'm sorry?
I understand, sir.
Okay, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 9th because of theft by taking is a felony charge. At 8:30 in the morning, that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir. I do, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir. So,
All right, you're free to go back.
you see one thing, sir. The bond, you should repeat the bond again, sir.
Yes, the bond is $14,000.
Okay, I got you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, sir. Okay, sir, you've been charged with improper display of tag, window tint violation, violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. So your total bond is going to be set at $12,500. You believe you can post that bond?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 9th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Can you repeat that balance one more time?
Could I repeat what?
Can you repeat that bond one more time?
$12,500.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Isaiah Stewart, you should have already, Isaiah. Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart.
Mr. Stewart, you've been charged with one count of theft by taking. At this point, I'm denying bond on this charge. I am setting a preliminary hearing date for June 9th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm also setting a bond hearing date for June 11th at 8:30 in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry, sir.
Yes, sir. I don't know yet.
Did you say yes or you don't know?
No, yes, sir. I said, I don't know yet. I don't know yet, sir.
So are you going to represent yourself? You're going to hire your own lawyer, or you're going to ask for the appointment of a lawyer?
I mean, call first.
You said, I'm sorry?
Call first to see.
Okay, so Mr. Stewart, I can appoint a lawyer to you now, and you can fire that lawyer if it appears your family members will pay for someone. Or I can mark that you're going to be pro se, or you're going to hire your own lawyer, which means there will be no lawyer working on your case probably until you get to court. So I know you're a young person, but you're charged with a serious offense. And I know that this is a situation where you don't know kind of maybe what's the right thing to do. It is your decision, but I can appoint a lawyer to you today. And if later you're able to have funds to hire a lawyer or whatever, you can fire the lawyer that I hired today. But at least you've had someone working on your case.
We can do that.
Okay. You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Yes, sir.
So the allegations that are contained in this are something, Mr. Stewart, that is beneath you. At such a young age, there's a lot more that you can aspire to in life. than this. Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Stewart?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir, and good luck to you.
Well, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Weidman? Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I've set the bond at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Your Honor, I cannot. Can I say one thing, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I just got out of the hospital. Currently I have pneumonia. And I also just got out of the hospital for intestinal surgery right here. I have doctor's visits. I'm not from here. I know nobody here. I cannot make any bond unless it's on own recognizance. If you do let me out on own recognizance, I promise on my word to go to the thing. I do need to do the doctor's follow-up visits for my intestinal surgery and for this pneumonia. And I'm really susceptible to COVID, they said, so I need to stay as far away from it as I can. So I asked if you could put me on own recognizance so I can go to my follow-up appointments for my intestinal surgery and for this pneumonia that I have. Currently, I'm in medical right now. I just came in yesterday. So I asked that you please let me out on PR so I can go to my follow-up visits for my intestinal surgery, Your Honor. And I promise to go to court. I promise you.
Okay, so Mr. Weidman, the bond that I set at $1,000 is the lowest amount, to my understanding, that a bonding company will allow someone to come in and post a bond. Hold on, sir. So to the extent that you're asking for a release of your own recognizance, I have to get approval from my boss, the chief of magistrate court. But she's in court. So I can't get that approval today. For you to be placed back on my calendar, that means you're going to be in custody until Monday. For me to be able to give you an answer. And that answer may not be what you want it to be.
Okay.
Because I last week had a number of people who were making that request, and she denied every one of them. So I know that you're asking for that. The bond that I've set is a bond that recognizes the crime. You were told to not come back to a place that you came back to. So that's something that is fully in your control as to whether you go back to a place that you're told not to come back to. So do you understand how it's not like you're a victim? It's like you were told not to come back to this place. You came back to this place. You got arrested. Do you understand your role in that?
Yes, I do, but I misunderstood because I thought that they meant don't come back there while they were there because the skip team was there. I thought they meant don't come back while the skip team's there. The next day I had to go and get my telephones there because I just found out that my mom had breast cancer. So I left my phones were left there. That's why I went back to go there, was to go get my telephones. When I was to get my telephones, they came because I needed to contact my mom. She said, just found out she had breast cancer. And I'm asking on PR only for medical reasons, Your Honor. Not for anything else but medical reasons, you know. I need to get my follow-up doctor's appointments. And if I don't, I know nobody in here. I'm not from here. I'm from Florida. If I don't get out, I won't be able to get my follow-up things to my doctors and everything. And also, I won't be able to get in touch with my mom like I should with her having breast cancer, Your Honor. I just found out she had breast cancer. She's got to go through surgery.
No, I'm looking, and believe me, I'm not being dismissive of anything that you're telling me. On your counsel form, it says that you are from Jonesboro.
From where?
Jonesboro.
I'm not from Jonesboro, Your Honor. I'm from Florida, from Miami.
Well, that's what you wrote on the form.
I live in Jonesboro. I'm staying in Jonesboro. I came up here for a job.
Okay. Give me a second, Mr. Weidman. I give everybody their due day. So I'm just trying to, I'm looking at your criminal history. Mr. Wyman, you're from Miami?
Yes, sir. Maryland originally, I moved to Miami and I came up here for a job to refurbish tech wood. But then that job ended suddenly and my boss ran out with $4,500 of my money.
So, Sean, Mr. Wyman, you've had at least 9 arrests in Miami.
Yes, Your Honor, I did in Miami. But then when I came up here, I took something from Kroger and I did 6 months. And after that, I didn't commit any crimes. I got a battery that actually didn't do, but I just pleaded out to it so I could get out of here. And I only had one, I stopped doing any crimes since that arrest, any crimes at all.
And I understand that a person with 9 arrests is not a candidate for release on their own recognizances. Do you understand that? I'm sorry, sir. There was some background noise. I didn't understand you.
Court date I went to, and without any FTAs, that ought to do something. Even though so many, I've went to every one without any.
Mr. Whiteman, when you're releasing your own recognizances, it says that this is such a good, upstanding citizen that we can just release this person with no fear that they're going to commit new crimes. You've had 9 arrests.
Yes, Your Honor.
And this arrest is an arrest where the allegation is you were told not to come back to some place and you came back. And you're saying that you didn't understand that. So how is that a good candidate for release on their own recognizance?
I'm a good candidate because if you see, just like your criminal history follows a person, so does, your failure to appear. I had no failure to appear in all 9 of those arrests, which means I went knowing that I could go to jail. On all 9 of those arrests, I could go to jail, but I came in with no failure to appear. If the negative follows a person, so I believe so should a positive. Like you say, this person showed up on all these arrests and went to court on all of them, and you'll see no FDAs. And I'll be here with no FDAs. I'll go to court. It's just a trust.
So, Mr. Whiteman, what I understand from you is that even though you've been arrested 9 prior times, and what I have before me is that you were given a warning not to come back to a certain location that you came back to, you're saying, even though I had all of those interactions, I still didn't understand when they said, don't come back here. And you came back. That's the only reason that you're arrested, is because you came back to a place that you were told not to come back to after being arrested 9 times prior. So what is it that's not computing, Mr. Weidman?
The computers when they said come back, and I thought they meant back there today because I kept saying I gotta come back. I kept thinking I had to come back to get my telephones. That's what I left there. That's why I came back the next day. I thought he meant don't come back while the skip team was there. The skip team was there. So I waited until the skip team was gone. And then I came back the next day to go get there. While I was getting my telephones, the skip team came back. I thought that that's what he meant. Don't come back while the skip team's there, because they're not supposed to be around like me, because they wouldn't let the skip team clean up when I was down there. So I thought they meant don't come back while the skip team's there. So that's what I misunderstood, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Whiteman, you're not a candidate for an OR bond, but you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. Do you want me to appoint a lawyer to represent you? Because this is something that is not the crime of the century. You know, you're not a murderer. So this is something that can get resolved. But I need you to understand, sir, you gotta pay attention. I mean, you're the only person that can keep yourself out of these situations. And this is again, it's not the crime of the century. And that's why I set the bond at $1,000. And the reason, just so you know, the reason I set the bond at $1,000 is because that's the lowest amount that a bonding company will write a bond for. So you can pay $120 or whatever to get out. So it's not like if I set a $500 bond, you'd have to pay $500 total to the sheriff's department in order to get out. So I understand and I recognize the low level of this offense, but also it's like you got to take some agency over your life and don't put yourself in these positions. Okay? So I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. The preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 8th, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Whiteman? Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
That's everybody, Your Honor.
Thank you for your assistance. I didn't let this go to 3 o'clock today, so I will endeavor to get the paperwork done. Thank you for your assistance. Have a good